who we neutralized became more and more bizarre as time went on. And I think it's important for you to understand a modus operandi, an MO, that I started noticing with Mr. Bush. When he ran for president in 1988, we received an order to neutralize, now this doesn't mean to assassinate, but to neutralize one person who was gaining favor in the voters' eyes. That man is Gary Hart. Because it was an American citizen, I refused to do it. However, there were others who did not refuse to do that. And now, as a matter of history, we all know what happened to Mr. Gary Hart. He was effectively neutralized by the OSG providing a woman and taping that rendezvous. It was then given to the media and pushed in the media. Had that happened today, the morality of America has changed to the point that I don't think anything would be done about it. But then it was still a vital issue to America. That's my opinion. You may not agree with that, but it's an opinion that's bolstered by an election that just happened. The next instance that I was tasked to neutralize an American citizen was in the 1992 election. I was asked to neutralize a candidate for a third party. This candidate was gaining favor in the voters' eyes. He was growing fast, and he's a person most of us know. His name is Perot.
These young people can cause the American people to regain confidence in their government overnight if they would put this in place, right?
I was told to neutralize Perot in a meeting in early 1992, 1991, and I refused to do that. I told them at that time that I would not, and I'm tired of it, and I gave them a copy of a tape of documents that we had made through the years. When I say we, it's myself and several other intelligence officers. We call this our insurance policy. Those documents were given to my handler at the time. He was instructed to pass it on to Mr. Bush, who had given the order for Mr. Perot's neutralization. No, I don't think so. Had I been tasked with it, I simply would have intimidated him into not running for office. And I believe historically, if we're looking at what happened, that intimidation did take place. I did cause word to be given to him during that election that there was going to be a neutralization attempted and that he needed to be aware of it. He announced, I believe, early in the running that there was threats of blackmail made against him, something to do with his daughter, and he decided to drop out of the running. But then in, I believe, August or September of the election year, he jumped back into the running. I had told a good friend who was working out of Tampa, Florida, for the government, and it is my information from him that it was at Saddlebrook Resort in Tampa, Florida, that Mr. Perot was told of the neutralization order.
And this information came to you?
This information did come from me to this federal officer. As I reflect back now and think about my many years of intelligence service and the things that I'd done, the missions that I'd been given, and in later years working for the OSGs, I can see a very common thread. And it's a thread, and I'm not easily threatened but it's a thread tied to a particular word, and that particular word has cropped up more and more in the most recent past by politicians. There was a politician, a senator, that was interviewing the new director of the CIA, George Tenet, and she asked him a very specific question, and that was just early this year. She asked Mr. Tenet, "Are you prepared to usher in the new millennium, and are you prepared to build your Central Intelligence Agency to see to the New World Order?" That was a damning statement, because I'd heard that statement in other instances. I heard that statement from statements and words pertaining to the New World Order from my handlers, from George Bush, from Bill Colby, and from Mr. Casey.
George Bush was one of the highest up that I'm aware of, if not the highest up that I was ever exposed to during the course of my White House Pentagon level mind control victimization. George Bush began with the United Nations. He went on to head our CIA. And then by everything that I witnessed and experienced, it was George Bush who was in control of our country through 3 administrations, because Ronald Reagan answers to George Bush. Then George Bush was in office himself. And after that, Bill Clinton went into office. And I heard Bill Clinton and George Bush once discussing how when the American populace became disillusioned with Republicans in control of our country, bringing us into the New World Order, that Bill Clinton, as a Democrat, would be put into office. And it was also my experience to have witnessed Bill Clinton answering to George Bush. So we certainly aren't blaming everything on George Bush. There's a lot of other players that are named in our book, Transformation of America. But it's very important that people understand who's at the top of this effort so that they know exactly what the problem really is.
Now, let me define how anti-government I am not. Because I am not anti-U.S. Constitution. How many of you are totally for our U.S. Constitution? How many of you are totally against those who are trying to do away with our Constitution? How many of you did time in the military, or maybe you're an ex-policeman like me, and have sworn to uphold the Constitution against all enemies over there and over here, foreign and domestic? Okay, I have twice, and I was born in a conservative American family, and my dad was a conservative, and so I guess I'm now an extremist. Why? Because they want to discredit everybody who doesn't want world government. Everyone who won't buy the party line is now an extremist, you see, so we can be labeled, and most of the people who don't know what is going on will buy the lie and turn against those who really know what's going on and who can educate others and help them stop it, perhaps. Now,
I can see that everything we were doing from 1986 in the OSGs until I left in 1982, 1992, we're designed to align countries into a one-world government. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what we were doing. There's no doubt in my mind that that timetable by the end of 2000 will be accomplished. As a matter of fact, having seen certain time schedules for things to happen, not understanding what it was designed for, I can say that they're ahead of schedule right now. It's our job to deter that, to slow that down, and perhaps by slowing that down, by slowing it down at the very top levels of these group of elite, perhaps we can give us common people the opportunity to come together and decide that there's something better than what they have planned for us in the New World Order.